What's good? What's good, Smoker's Hut? What's going on? So, today I want to talk to you guys about basically, I don't know if you guys have ever seen my bios or even some of my artworks, but you'll see a red heart, a black heart, and a white heart. And if you follow certain people, even off of Long Island, but a lot of people on Long Island, you'll see a white heart or a black heart. Um, Not to say that I started that, because like people been doing that for a minute, since emojis came out. But I'm just here to explain what the white heart and the black heart and the red heart symbolize. So first, I'll start with the most important. The most important heart of them all. And I'm talking emojis. Like for anyone who doesn't know, this isn't like some chakra thing. They're literally hearts. So if you go on my bio, on my Twitter, or on my Instagram, you will see a red heart emoji, a black heart emoji, and then a white heart emoji. If you're smart, you can already tell where this is kind of going. But either way, I'll break it down for you a little bit more, right? Why not? So the red heart symbolizes basically the blood that we all share. And it's not about, because like people have tried me so much on this topic, like online and stuff. Like, oh, well, some of us have more Neanderthal blood. Some of us have more African blood or more Homo sapien blood. And some of us have, bro, that's not the point. That's not the point. The point is that the people in power divided us based on color, skin color, eye color, hair color, all these different things, all these different standards of beauty per se, which was changed too. But like, I say all this to say that the red heart symbolizes the blood that we all share. When we bleed, it's red. It's red blood. And they say that our blood is actually like blue before it touches the air, but when it touches the air, it becomes red. I don't know how true that is. I have no idea how true that is, but I've heard that before. But either way, when we see our blood, it is red, right? When we see our blood, the blood is red. So that's our commonality, because everything's divided by color, color, color. But when somebody dies or some blood is shed, we all feel the pain, unless you're a psychopath. But I feel the pain when a white person is injured or hurt or loses a family member or a loved one. I feel that. I feel the bloodshed, even though I'm black. You see what I'm saying? That's our commonality. Because in the end, we all got 80 to absolute most, 100 years here on this planet. Don't mind me. I'm just a little dehydrated, guys. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't be drinking mid-video. It's very unbecoming of me. But so that's what the red heart symbolizes. The blood that we all share, and that will one day unfortunately be shed and evaporate out of all of our bodies until we're dry, crusty, mummified skeletons in the ground. But that's what the red symbolizes. That's what the red heart symbolizes, our blood. I don't care if you're black, Spanish, white, European, African, I don't care where you are, Chinese, Asian. When you get cut, even a paper cut, we all see that red blood and we say, are you okay? Unless you're a psychopath, unless you're completely crazy, you look at it and you say, oh, well, this person's bleeding out. And because they're a different race than me, I don't even care to help them, right? So that's what what's it called? Red heart symbolizes. That's what that symbolizes, is basically the blood that we all share. And it's not a gang thing. It's not gang affiliated. It's none of that. It's none of that. It is simply not racial, because I believe we're all one race, but it's simply humanity. The red heart symbolizes humanity. And when someone passes, regardless, I always add the red heart, because it symbolizes not pain, but the emotional attachment to the blood loss or the loss of life. You see what I'm saying? That's what the red heart symbolizes to me. And I made this up, so I know you could disagree with me, but at the end of the day, I started this. Like, a lot of you got with the black hearts and the white hearts, that could be your own thing. I don't know. But as far as like the symbolism behind it, if you know what it means, then I appreciate you and I support you in whatever you do, because you get my mentality. You get you get where I'm coming from. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, oh, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Un momento, un momento. All right, sorry about that. I had to crack my back because it's so weird what I just went and did. But yeah, I had to crack my back. But okay. Anyway, that's what the red heart symbolizes. I hope you guys can get that. It's very simple. Black or white or whatever. When blood is shed, when life is lost, we all should feel it and all should show that we feel it, you know? That's where that comes from. Now we're gonna move into the black heart. I'm only going in this order because this is what I am. Do you see what I'm saying? I'm only going red because the blood, black heart, then white heart, because that's what my, not just my DNA, but my, that's what I am. So that's the order I'm going in. If you're white, you could go red heart, white heart, black heart, or red heart, white heart, or or you could go red heart, black heart. It doesn't matter, because I'm about to explain to you what the white heart symbolizes. I mean, the black heart symbolizes. The black heart symbolizes, melanated people, because, and not to say melanated in a way like, because you could have white skin, quote unquote, white or light skin, and still use a black heart, because it's not to divide. You see what I'm saying? You could use both hearts. It doesn't matter. The whole point is that they're hearts. You see what I'm saying? The whole point is that it's love. It's showing a sense of solidarity. Even if you don't share the same ideals with another person from another ethnic group, that doesn't mean that we can't all love each other. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not trying to sound cheesy or anything, but you got people really full of hate out here in America. So it's foolish to ignore it. It's not intelligent to ignore it. So I thought of this a few years ago, and I was like, I want to do this marketing type of thing where, like, people think about ethnic group and about melanin more in their just day-to-day life, because it's one of those things that we all know it's happening, but when you're informed and educated on melanin and why certain things are the way they are, you really do open your eyes up to, like, oh my God, this is real. This is real life. There's actual people moving pawns in the higher up position to either keep a certain group down or promote a certain group, or even the reversal, where you have not reverse racism, I hate that term, but you have retaliation to racism, and then it just never fixes. So anyway, I'm going to explain what the black heart means. The black heart basically symbolizes, I guess you could say, heavily melanated people, because you have white people or light people who have brown eyes or black hair and things like that. And that's melanin. That is melanin. So that's what I'm saying. I've seen light Hispanic, um, light Hispanic people or light white people still use black hearts. So I feel like it's more of a, and I like that too. I like that when I see that. And I like when I see black people use the white heart. You know what I'm saying? When they wear like all white or something, or they're at an all white thing, like it's cool. Cause like, I mean, I don't know. It just shows love to me. It shows that I acknowledge, because a lot of times people will say things like, what? Like, I don't see color. I don't see color. I don't see your color. No, you should see my color. I want you to see my color and love my color. You see what I'm saying? Same thing with white people. If I meet a white girl or something and she's nice, she might say, I don't see your color. Or I might say, well, I wouldn't say it, but someone in my position might say, I like, I don't see your skin color. I don't see that you're white. I see past that. And it's like, no, you should see that this person's white because that's not going to change, and same thing with me. You should see that I'm a melanated person because, first of all, that might have to do with some struggles that I endure in the future. If you ignore it and say, oh, no, we're all the same. You're not a black person. It's like, no, I am. I am. And that's okay. That's more than okay. Like, so that's where I want to like really break this down. So yeah, the black heart symbolizes, melanated people like myself, black. And the white heart symbolizes, you know, lighter people, lighter with less melanin in their body. And I feel no different about either one because it's like you are hating people off of quote unquote skin color, but it's like this, it's just different amounts of this chemical called melanin. And you're really dividing people or making people's life harder because of this chemical, because of this presence. I remember one time I was telling my mom all about this theory, like this thing I was coming up with. And I was like, it's like this, Mom, like melanin helps you with the sun. It helps you, like, it's straight up. There's a direct correlation between skin cancer in people with very low amounts of melanin and if they stay in the sun. Like, it's just a direct correlation. I'm not making this up. I'm not trying to be a dick or in any way. It's just real. And I made this correlation to my mom. I was like, racism is so stupid, Mom, because I was feeling it that day. I was really upset. I was like, Mom, racism is so stupid. It's so stupid. And she's like, yeah, I know. And she's like, I was like, it's like, why hate people with melanin in their body? Why hate us for having melanin in our body? I was like, that's like me hating people for being tall. Like, yeah, I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I don't go around trying to kill or hinder the tall people from succeeding in life. And she got a kick out of that. But it really is that simple. People see, even black people, like we don't all look the same or have the same skin tone. So this is where I'm going to go into the next part of the theory. Like, I mean, the next part of the, I don't want to call it an experiment, but the next part of the thesis, I guess you could say. So you get it. Red, what does red symbolize? The blood that we all share, right? That's what the red symbolizes. The blood that we all share. When that life is lost, when the blood is shed, we all feel it universally. White, black, does not matter. You should feel something when somebody loses their life or, meets their untimely demise, or even when they lived a full life. We miss them, we all miss them. I've never lost a life of a white person I was close to and said, oh, well, they're white. I don't care as much. They're white. That's crazy. If you were good to me, if you loved me, if your heart was shown to me in any way, your love was shown to me in any way, I'm going to feel it off of emotions. It doesn't matter that you're black, white, Hispanic. I don't care. If you were good to me, I'm going to feel it. And that's what the red heart symbolizes. We get that, right? Red, blood, that's what it symbolizes. It is not gang affiliated. It is not gang affiliated. I can't say that enough. It is not gang affiliated. That is what the red heart symbolizes, the blood that we all share. What does the black heart symbolize? Heavily melanated people. And I say that, I don't just say black people because you're thinking, oh, why doesn't he just say black people? I don't say black people because heavily melanated people are across the globe. You have them in India, you have them in China, you have them in well, you have them in Europe too, but it's a little complicated there. But yeah, you have them in Africa. You have everywhere. You have these different shades. Now, this is where the thesis gets a little fun for humanity, because if you notice, the black heart emoji is very dark. It's a very dark, almost as black as you can get. It's like jet black. And I'm sure there's some humans that are that color, but that's a very rare, very melanated example, very dark melanated person. As far as the white heart, that is crystal white. I don't know if I've ever seen someone that white as the emoji, but that is very white. And I'm sure there is someone out there with very little melanin who does have that complexion almost, right? And I love that about the emojis, because here's the thing. The emoji is like, it's like a what's the word? I don't want to misspeak. I don't want to misspeak, because this is where it gets fun, and I don't want to misquote my words, you know. But the black heart and the white heart is a spectrum. It's not black white. That's where we get my thesis messed up. That's where we get my whole plot for this messed up. It is not black white. It is supposed to be a spectrum. So if you almost like if you took a black heart on this side, you remember in school you would make those things that unfold and like it's like people holding hands. If you took a black heart on this side, white heart on this side, and pulled them apart, and you saw all the shades in between, that's what it's supposed to symbolize. You see what I'm saying? It's supposed to symbolize the darkest you are. I don't care, you know, black as night. You could be black as midnight, all the way up to white as fucking snow. You know what I'm saying? Pale. And everything in between. Everything in between that deserves human decency and respect from the other humans. And that's what the theory symbolizes. I hope you guys understand that. I hope nothing. If you have any questions, please leave it in the comments. But that's it. That's really it. I can't explain it any simpler. The point is to love everyone. The point is to love each other. And I know that sounds cliche, and I know it sounds silly, but I'm pretty well educated on melanin and genetics at this point. Not to a point where I could be a scientist or anything, but the more I learn about it, the more my emoji thing makes sense. You see what I'm saying? The more I learn about even history, the more I'm like, oh shit, like I'm onto something here. Because people think like, oh, it's black, it's race, it's because you're from here, it's you're from there. But really, there is a direct correlation with melanated people and less melanated people since the beginning. Since I'm talking, because this is the other part. This is the other part you have to understand. In Africa, people have been alive for generations. We know that. For thousands, even millions of years. Scientists say millions, religious people say thousands of years, right? Either way, we've been on this planet a long time. When this is the final part. This is the final part where I try to tie humanity together a little bit. Even though we try to divide ourselves. Let's just tie it together for a second. Melanated people, and I'm not saying black people, melanated people of all ethnic groups can have less melanated babies, right? We all know that. All the way from, oh, my baby's a little lighter than I am, okay, whatever. All the way to albino, where it's like my baby's completely white with blue eyes or with gray eyes and blonde hair. We know that, right? That's a fact. Now, if that's been happening since the beginning of time, since Egypt, even before Egypt, but that's the earliest civilizations we know. Since Egypt, you don't think that resulted in a schism over time? Let's say every 100 babies born, one is born albino, or every 1,000 babies born, one is born albino in Africa. That makes you say, I'm leaving this area because, for one, it's hot as hell and the sun is beaming on me. I have to go to somewhere where the nature and the environment suits me. So they go north, and what's north of Africa? Little geography test for you guys here. What's north of Africa? Current day Europe. And that's where this all began, right? But here's the thing. It depends what you take from that story. You could take that story and say, oh, this guy thinks he's better than someone because he has melanin. You could think all that. And you could be a hater. You could be, oh, he thinks he's better than. That's not the case. What I'm saying here is that we are one family. Truly, we are one family. Granted, there's different, certain Africans or certain, I forgot the word for it, but like certain Homo sapiens and humans mated with Neanderthals. Hold on, I'm not answering that. Certain Homo sapiens and Neanderthals. Certain Homo sapiens from Africa mated with Neanderthals. Now, when that happened, like you get these off different offsprings and things like that. But it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, we are one race. Like, we actually are. Like, granted, we have these different these different groups of ape-like creatures. We say, like, you have your Neanderthals, humanoid or whatever, and then your Denisovians or something like that. Yes, that's true. But they were almost all melanated in originalness. Like, that's the thing about melanin too, about being quote unquote black. Once you are lighter, unless you find a melanated partner, you're not going to get more melanin. You see what I'm saying? It's very rare for you to produce more of what you don't have. Unless, you're melanated, but you just stayed out of the sun for years, and then your melanin kind of went away. But even then, it's still in you, so maybe it comes out in the kid. But all this to say that racism in itself is stupid. It's stupid. And for black, quote, slash melanated people, it's completely illogical for us to be racist. And it's completely reactionary for us to be racist, because the reality of the situation is, I could find a black woman, right? I could find a black woman, fall in love with her, have tons of kids, right? And one could come out very light or albino. And then where's my stance? I'm going to hate my own son or daughter? Think about it. Think about what I'm saying. Think about what I'm saying. Racism in itself is stupid as hell, especially for a black person. White people, not all white people, I have to always say this disclaimer, but the white power structure knows that keeping a white identity keeps people from knowing the truth to a certain extent. Do you see what I'm saying? Like if you say, oh, we're white, we're from Europe, we have different ancestors, we came out of caves, we have nothing to do with that African nonsense, we're different people, then people believe that we are actually different races, which is what you taught us, which is what America taught us. We're different races. That's what they taught us. And now we're starting to ease out of that. But the reality is, we're not different races, for one. And two, like I said, black people, they can be racist. Don't get me wrong. You can hate your own offspring, but I'm saying it's way less likely for a black person to naturally, without white people doing something to black people, it's rare as hell for a black person to just be naturally racist if they know anything about science. Because it's like, bro, you could have a light baby. You could have a light-skinned baby. That might happen 9 months from now. You could have a light-skinned baby. You could have a baby with green eyes or blue eyes, because you can make less melanin in your baby. Making more, now that's a struggle. But all this to say that racism is stupid. That's the whole point. Like the hearts and the whole spectrum thing, whether you're black, brown, like, you know, a medium shade, cream, white, I don't care, bro, because really that's all in my like I might have a light baby. You see what I'm saying? And for people to call me racist for coming up with these theories and teaching people about melanin, I don't care, bro. I don't care. You can hate me all you want. It I was how old? 20 I want to say I was 21 when I started thinking about this stuff, and it took this long for me to get to a point of saying like, okay, I want to tell other people about this. I want to teach other people about this in a certain extent, because like this is crazy information. And I don't know why I never thought about the fact that melanated people could have like less melanated babies, because my family, it's happened plenty of times, and I'm like, I just never opened my eyes to what's right in front of me. But that's where I said, okay, racism is stupid. It's stupid. And for a black person to be racist, you're highly unintelligent. You're highly unintelligent, because that is those are your like you're hating yourself in a way. And same thing with the what's it called? Same thing with white people being racist, though. Now I'm just going to dig on racists. I'm not digging on white people. I'm not digging on black people. I'm just digging on racism. For a white person to be racist, you are hating the color that you came from. I'm serious. Realistically, at some point in the line, if you go far back enough, you have a melanated ancestor. You do. You do. And if you don't, then that means all your ancestors were what? Completely non-melanated, which means you would look very non-melanated. You know, white people today have melanin, a large amount of them. You know, their hair is brown or black, and their eyes are brown and black, and they can tan. You know, if you don't have melanin, that's very difficult. And I'm not making fun of anyone. This is just health. It's just a chemical, and I want it to be seen that way. It's just a chemical in your body, just like anything else. If someone has low vitamin C, do you fucking hate them? No. If someone has low vitamin D or something like that, do you hate them? I don't see the point. So it's all this to say, like, guys, go learn about history, learn about melanin, learn about genetics, learn about recessive genes, dominant genes, and you will understand the world that's been constructed right in front of your eyes. And you'll understand why it's been constructed that way. Now, like I said, I hope if you guys have any questions, leave them below. This video is mad long, but I wanted to get this out there, and I really don't care, because I want to talk to you guys. I want you guys to explain. I want to be able to explain myself to you, because I know I come off as erratic and crazy sometimes, but I hope it all makes sense. Red heart symbolizes the bloodshed, the blood that runs through all of us. When it's lost, when life is lost, we all feel it. We all should feel it. Black, white, whatever. You know, if that person affected your life in a good way, you should feel it. You should feel it in your heart. Black heart to white heart and everything in between is just about love. It's just about knowing that I don't care if you're super light. I still love you because you did right by me. I don't care if you're super dark. I don't care because you did right by me. You see what I'm saying? I don't care if you're, and then as far as race, what they call race, that's ridiculous. Most of the stuff that is race is language and location, which does not change your race. If somebody conquers your people and makes them speak English, the reason I'm speaking English right now is because Europeans came over and colonized the area I was living in, and now I speak English. Same thing with Hispanics. Spaniards from Spain came over, conquered your people, and now you speak Spanish. That's it. And a lot of times Spanish people say, oh, but our Spanish is different. I know it's different because you have your own dialect. Same thing with my English. My English doesn't sound like an Englishman from England anymore. My English sounds way different. You know, they'd say I'm speaking incorrect English probably. But does that matter? Does that matter? Does that change my race? No, that doesn't change your race. You are simply part of a different ethnic group now because you speak their language. You start to take on their traditions a little bit and mix that with your own culture the best you can. But that does not make us different people. You see what I'm saying? I speak a decent amount of Spanish myself, like not a ton, pero yo puedo hablo español poquito. Si yo necesito um, un, ¿cómo se dice? Yo no sé, pero I speak a little bit of Spanish. Yeah, I speak a little bit of Spanish. Enough for you to be like, oh shit, like, okay, like maybe this is more language. Maybe this is more taught than you know what I'm saying? This isn't inside of me. It was just taught to me. Just like I could learn Mandarin. I work somewhere now where they speak Mandarin, and I've been learning words in Mandarin. They're mad hard to pronounce, but because that's what they speak in China. But like, bro, race, they tried to divide us, and that's all I'm trying to do with my rhetoric is bring us together. So that's why and even my DNA, like I got my DNA tested a few years ago, and I was surprised to find out I had like Russian in my blood. I have Irish in my blood. I have English in my blood, which I didn't know. And not my whole life, but for a while I was walking around like, damn, I only have this last name because some Englishman gave it to me type shit. But now I'm like, well, some Englishman also mated with me. So this might have been my last name regardless. You know what I'm saying? Either way. Or I don't even know why I'm saying Englishman. It could have been an English woman who had sex with someone black, or it could have been, you know what I'm saying? Or it could have been an English black person. You see what I'm saying? From that area. I don't know. But my point is that we have to stop dividing ourselves based on language, location, and skin color. Because language is taught to you. We just said that. Location, we all migrated out of Africa. Look it up. I don't care if you believe me or not. Look it up. The Homo sapiens originated in Africa. Neanderthals originated in Africa, and then they spread out across the globe. And which is only natural, human nature, bro. Like once you learn you're smarter than everything else, you're gonna expand. Let's see what's over there. Let's see what's over there. Let's see what's over here. You know, and let's build. So all that to say that location. We all came from the same place and habitated the world, bro. Like, and we mixed with different, all these different ape-like creatures, but they all originated in Africa because that's where the most abundant life is. That's where the most life forms are, and it's the closest to the equator. A lot of animals originated out of Africa, and a lot of people might say, "Oh God, he's on this Africa kick," bro. I'm only saying this because it's the truth. If it said we originated in India, I'd be sitting here saying we all came out of India, you know? Or if it said we all came out of Europe, I would say we all came out of Europe. But the reality is that doesn't even make sense. Like, I couldn't have come from someone with no melanin in them because I'm melanated, heavily melanated. You see what I'm saying? Just follow what I'm saying and take it serious. And I'm giving y'all real knowledge. I hope y'all watch this whole video. It's a long fucking video. I know you might not. But yeah, so yeah, location and then as far as the skin color, like I said, we are all different amounts. I could have an albino baby. I could have a light baby. I'm not going to walk around hating white people. I'm just not going to do it. But for you to hate me because of my blackness, I'm instantly taken back by any racist who says, I don't like black people, because I'm like, bro, you came from a black person. I don't care if you believe it. I don't care if you don't believe it. You didn't come from simply white, because that doesn't exist. Where did the white come from? You know what I'm saying? Where did the lack of melanin come from? Unless you're saying all your ancestors were albino, which that means you would have no melanin. You would have gray or blue eyes, blonde hair, like not even blonde, almost white hair. You know what I'm saying? So let's stop with this whole kick of like, I don't like black people or I don't like white people, because it's inside all of us. That's my whole point with the hearts. It's inside all of us. I have white DNA. I have black DNA. I have so much because it's 2022, and that's after Christ's death. So we've been here for a long fucking time. And that's when history started being written. Imagine all the years before history was even written, before Christ. All that time, we were inhabiting the earth. If you don't think that you have black in you, white in you, some see the thing is, really, it's not even black and white. These different things are location based for a big part of it. Like even my hair, it's a feature of Homo sapien genetics. You see what I'm saying? And then like straight hair and stuff is more Neanderthal genetics. Like they say everyone out of Africa has, oh, well, not everyone, but most people, the vast majority of people who aren't in Africa currently, aren't Africans, have this Neanderthal gene in them. I have it to a certain extent, but not a lot, not a ton. But to sit here and say, oh, we're different races, bro. We're like, no one's holding on to Neanderthalism. Like they're all extinct. No, and even me, I'm not holding on to that. If I see an African, I'm not treating him any different because I'm lighter a little bit. Like that's stupid. So that's what I'm saying. That's my whole point. I got to end this video, but I hope you guys have questions. Put them in the comments. I hope my theory makes sense to you. Location does not matter. Skin color does not matter. We need to love each other. It sounds simple, but I hope I gave you some information for why it's so simple. You see what I'm saying? It's like, oh yeah, people have been saying this for years, man. It's like, I know, but I want to give you some information as to why it's so stupid. You see what I'm saying? A lot of people say racism is stupid. Racism is ridiculous. But why is it ridiculous? It's ridiculous because we're way closer in family than you think. You see what I'm saying? We're way closer in genetics than you think. But we have people telling us, oh, you're European, you're from Europe. You're African, you're an African American, you're from Africa, as if we all aren't. And then you have people saying, you're an Asian American, you're from Asia, and it's okay to have these locations with their names. Like you could say, okay, this area is called Europe. This is where the border stops. Like, let's not forget that all these borders are man-made. Like God didn't come down and say, yes, this is Europe, this is Africa, this is Asia. No, he was literally like, this is all yours. This is free for you to inhabit. And then our kings and queens and leaders said, nope, I'm drawing a line in the sand. This is Europe. You stay there. I stay here. That's Africa. This is Europe. That's Asia. And that's all human. But God never came down and said, these are your locations. These are your, fighters. Go to your corners. You go to Asia because you have these features. You go to, what's it called? Europe because you have these features. No, it was naturally like that. Like, unfortunately, our own hatred for each other caused us to do that, to drift where our people were. All right, I'm a little less melanated. I'm going to go with these Europeans. All right, I'm heavy melanated. I'm going to stay in Africa. I'm going to kick back. Or, and then you have adventurers who are just like, I want to see some shit. I want to go out and see something great. But then you have even Asians, their features, they say, we share the same features. We go that way. If you look into the development of Asia as a country, they cross this like ice bridge or something. And they have skin flaps like in their eyes, like on their eyes, right? We all have seen Asian features. Their eyes are, a little bit different than an American's eye features. The ones without that feature did not make the trip across that ice bridge because their eyes were getting blinded and things like that. So then they didn't mate. Once they got there, they're blind. So the ones with the skin flaps got through. And that's a case of really survival of the fittest. That's just evolution. So, and that's why today the people who inhabit Asia still have those um, features on their face. You know, they still have those features because their ancestors had those features. It's very simple. but it's not like God said, yes, this is for Asia and for people who look like this. This is Europe and this is for people who look like this. This is Africa and that's not what happened. You know what I'm saying? People came out of Africa and then said, this is an area that suits me. I will stay here and mate here. There was even a scientist who said if the environment is beneficial, the specimen will reproduce. If the environment is unbearable, the chances of reproduction are very unlikely. So when you find your area, let's say you're less melanated human, you find your area where you're comfortable, less sun, maybe, you know, a little colder temperature, you say, you know what, I could start a family here. I'm comfortable. I'm not, you know, I don't feel. And also you have to think about social discrimination throughout all these times. So for the most part, humans want to be around people who look somewhat like them. You see what I'm saying? And that is racism in itself, but that's humans for you. That's any intelligent creature who wants to do those things. But now with this knowledge, I hope that you guys understand what I'm saying. And anytime you see those emojis, I hope you think to yourself, racism is so stupid. I hope you just think that to yourself, like, racism is ridiculous. We actually, like, and the other part is you don't even know what someone's race is. Like, realistically, if I told you that I was, like, born in Russia, right? And then I learned English, would you know that I'm telling the truth? Would you know? And at what point do you become that thing? Let's say I move to Russia and I have a black wife. Or I meet a black wife in Russia and we have a baby, a beautiful black baby, and he's born in Russia. What is he? Is he an African American Russian? Is he how's this work? You know what I'm saying? Is he a black Russian? Where does it start? Where does it start and where does it end? And that's where I find racism so weird. Because people are like, I'm this. That's where I identify. It's like, why stop there? When I got my DNA, I was like, okay, so I've been to all these areas in my lineage. I've been to North Africa. I've been to Ireland. I've been to America. I've been all these places, but I'm not going to sit here and say, I'm American and that's where the buck stops, damn it. Like, what? No, I'm like that doesn't even make sense. Like, I'm a lot of things. And we all are. For you to be alive at this time, do you know how many people had to reproduce and keep the chain going, keep the babies popping out for you to even appear here today? You're a lot of things, bro. So before you think, oh, I'm better than this person or that person's less than me, just know that person's genetics are inside of you. Just know it. And once you know that, I hope you take a step back and say to yourself, this racism stuff is just not it. I'm wasting my time. That's stupid. You know? But that's all I want to say. This has been almost an hour-long video, which is crazy. I don't know if I've ever done a video this long, but that's all I wanted to say. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on Twitter, Instagram, or in the comments about the red heart, black heart, white heart, everything in between. I hope you get it, though. I hope you get it. Different shades of melanin is no reason to want to kill someone or hinder them or keep them in poverty or any of these things that the world does. That's all I want to say. And I represent that in my music. I represent that in my bios. I'm very serious about this. This is a very serious issue to me. Very serious, because I feel like we've been lied to. The education system lied to us. I didn't even hear the word melanin in school. You know what I'm saying? I went to a very white school. I didn't even hear the word melanin. I promise you. I had to find that all out by myself. So now I'm putting all this energy into the internet and trying to give you guys all the lessons I've learned, all the things I've learned, because it's only right. I wish there was someone to tell me about these things when I was in school, or at least coming out of school, because there was no one. And they taught us, that we're different races. That's literally what they told us. Even the word racist implies different, you know what I'm saying? Even the word racist implies different races. You're racist, so you must hate a different race. But we are the human race. That's all I want to say, guys. You guys have a great day. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you comment. Make sure you like. And I hope you guys are enjoying the Smoker's Hut. More content coming soon. Roanoke is going to be out in like a week or two. I'm mad excited about Roanoke. I'm mad excited because it's just a different feeling. But I hope you guys learned something from this video. And I hope you guys are having a terrific day. And on that note, peace.